in Southampton is legend and football pundit Matt Le Tissier. Matt, good to see you. He's getting his hands in politics again. Sick of it. I'm sick and tired of it. But what do you make of all of this?
Firstly, as you know, I'm a big advocate of freedom of speech, so I think Gary should be entitled to his opinion. I think the only possible caveat to that is the terms of Gary's contract. And it appears from the statement from the BBC that there seems to be something in there that says he's got to stay away from partisan political issues. And if that is the case, then obviously he's breached his contract. So there is certainly an issue there for him if he has done that. But I don't mind people having an opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Nobody's forced to listen to it. We could disregard Gary's opinions, like a lot of the stuff that he talks about. We hear it, and it just goes, "Oh, they disregard it," because it's just that's his opinion, and if people don't agree with it, just ignore it.
Yeah, but Matt, this is a conflation of freedom of speech with the fact that you've joined the state-owned broadcaster where you're not really meant to make political comments, and literally everyone at the BBC, even if you have a bit less or a bit more of the impartiality, I know there, I've worked for them, I think you've probably worked for them as well, or maybe, but we all know that if you choose to work for the BBC, then you know you've foregone your right to make these political comments. There are plenty of other places you can work. He has so many options open to him. So I keep hearing people conflate it with freedom of speech and think it's got nothing to do with freedom of speech. It's free to speak, but there are consequences.
That's why I made the point about the terms of his contract. And so that's the only caveat to it all. And if he's breached the terms of that contract, then obviously he's going to have the consequences of that.
Now, Gary's obviously, if he's not presenting it, and Ian Wright's now decided he's not going to do it, do you think it will make any difference at all? Will the viewers of Match of the Day even care? I mean, you know, it's like a cat. It goes to one house and it gets more food at the next one, so it goes to the house where there's food. You know, even if it's your own cat, it will go to somebody else's house.
As I think you mentioned before, there's plenty of other people who would, kill for a job like that. It's an amazing job. He's had it for a long time. The only bit of that BBC statement I don't agree with, where it said he was second to none. I think he ums and ahs way too much to be second to anybody, and certainly not second to none. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. And yes, it's sad for him, but I guess he would have known the consequences. And still decided to do that anyway. So that's completely up to him. And as I said, you're right. There are plenty of other jobs for him if he wants to be free to air his political opinions. Then absolutely right. Go and work for someone else.
Maybe he thought it was going to be like another Teflon Gary moment, but maybe not. Maybe this one will actually stick. What about Ian Wright? Ian Wright has decided that he's not going to do it either. Now, you can, if you step into that arena and do it once, you're going to have to do it for as long as Gary's not there. Or is Ian Wright going to come back the following week? I mean, I'm just wondering, what do you think about Ian?
It's really interesting, and Ian has taken a stand there for standing up for his mate and his fellow TV worker. But what's really interesting about it is if you go back 3 years. And have a look at the reaction that Ian Wright had to the sacking of myself, Phil Thompson and Charlie Nicholas. And you will see that reaction is completely contradictory to the way he reacted to this. So, it's all very well, taking this stand, but, let's show a bit of consistency in this writing.
Well,
I'm talking about. If you're watching, you know what I'm on about.
Well, listen, some people don't know. I don't know. What happened? Did he not join in? He didn't step back when you were fired or whatever it was?
No, he certainly didn't. He certainly didn't stand in solidarity with the three of us. That's for sure. It was a case of, people, old people who have had their time, and it's time to move on to some younger people.
Oh, right.
Yeah, along those lines. But it shouldn't be too hard to find it.
All right, interesting stuff. Well, listen, Matt Le Tissier, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Will you be watching Match of the Day tomorrow without Gary and Ian?
No, I'll be around my neighbour's house celebrating his birthday. So I will not be watching Match of the Day. But yeah, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I find it easier to actually record it, and then I can just fast forward past the boring bits.
And do you care that Gary is not presenting it and Ian won't be there either? Will it make a difference to you?
No.
Exactly. Thank you, Matt Tissier. Lovely to talk to you.